Hi, welcome. My name is Charlotte. I love colorful and sparkly makeup. Today is going to be my October update for the Deck of Panning Project Pan. This is an open, collaborative project pan that's run by Emily from Emily and Max. She will be linked down below. Check out her videos. And if you're interested in anti-consumerist makeup content, then definitely consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you back. My makeup is breaking up a little bit under my eyes. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm just hoping that you can't see it. I'm sorry if you can. I just have to jump in and get this filmed. As always, I'm going to start by updating you on the items that have been in my project, and then we're going to have at least one rollout. I believe the item that has been in this project the longest is this eyeshadow from Looxi, which is called Social Butterfly. It's a beautiful rose gold with a sort of greenish gold shift. And I have been trying to hit pan on this shadow. I rolled it in, I believe, for the prompt hit a pan. And I believe I rolled that in the June update, if my math is correct here. I have some bad news to report with this one, which is that it fell. I actually dropped this whole palette, which is some of my favorite shades that I reach for a lot. So it could have been a lot worse. Nothing else came out of its pan, but I think that this one, especially because I had a solid dip in it at that point, it was a little bit looser in the pan. This one came out. All the shadow came out of the pan, but the pan was still on top of the shadow, so I was able to flip the palette over and press it back in with a paper towel and a quarter. So thankfully I didn't really lose any product from this, but repressing it meant that I lost all my progress from trying to hit pan in this project. So it's now pretty much flat across the top again. And the other thing that means is that to hit pan on it now would be to ultimately use up more of the eyeshadow than I had initially kind of prepared myself for. I have this weird relationship now with my Looxi shadows, now that it looks like Looxi is closed permanently, I guess we have to assume. And Looxi shadows are some of my favorite in my collection. So I'm torn between the impulse to save them and savor them and not use them, as well as the desire to, pan them completely before they go bad, because they're really, most of them are an emollient formula that I have to assume is going to change pretty significantly over time as it gets drier. So I'm torn with this one. I only have 9 uses on it total within this project, which is really not very much, and probably wasn't gonna have been enough to hit pan even before I had to flatten that. But yeah, I'm torn about what I want to do with this one. I think I do want to resist the impulse to save it, but I also know that I want to rotate through my Looxi shadows and make sure that I'm getting good use on all of them. I would like to hit some more pans in my Looxi shades in 2025, so I'm happy to have, I still have some progress on this shade, so I'm happy to have that. I think what I'm going to do is keep it in the project, but just keep it on the back burner so that I am spreading the love among lots of different Looxi shades between now and the end of the year. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do it next year. I'd like to hit some pans. I don't know if that will be through organic usage or through some kind of project. But I love this shadow. I came to love it a lot more by using it in this project. Yeah, so for now I'm gonna keep it in the project, but I might not end up hitting pan by the end of the year. I might not have amazing progress on it. Okay, and then I think it was in August that I rolled in the Flower Beauty Jungle Lights palette for a no pan left behind goal. This is what this palette looks like. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous fall color story. I rolled this in for the prompt, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and I thought it would be pretty easy to no pan left behind these 6 shadows. And I also tend to use these for one shadow looks, so very kind of easy looks. And I had used all but these 2 purple shades by the September update, so I just needed to use these in the last month, and I was able to do that. So this one will be rolling out. Also in August, I rolled in this highlighter from Rituel de Fille and Andromeda. This is the shade Borealis, and it's from the Viridescent collection, which is a collection in collaboration with Andromeda that's themed all around green makeup. I love green makeup and I love this highlighter so much. I use it anytime that I'm doing like warm looks or neutral looks, as well as obviously when I'm doing green looks. This was rolled in for the prompt most recent purchase. So yeah, I bought this in August when the collection launched pretty much. I was really excited about it, not disappointed, and I wanted to hit 15 uses on this. I did manage to do that. I've used it 16 times within this project, and I had 9 of those uses in the first month, and then just another 7 uses to this past month to get up to 16 total. I'm gonna put this back in my collection, roll it out of the project, but I will definitely continue to reach for that regularly. Okay, and now I have 3 remaining products. They are all staying in the project and they were all rolled in last month for 10 uses. So for the prompt, represent a project, I rolled in this lipstick from NYX. This is the Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Rome. It's quite a pink lipstick. I think it's a nice fall color, but I'm not totally sure how I feel about it. Sometimes I don't really love the color pink on me, like especially cool toned pinks. This one has a lot of brown in it, but it is still a little bit vibrant for me, even though I used to love the way that it looks. So I wanted to kind of reckon with this, hopefully come to appreciate it more, but if not, decide whether I wanted to keep it in my collection or not. I haven't really done that. I've only used it 3 times since rolling it in. One of them is today. I have this mixed with a more like nude shade, so that's sort of how I've gotten all 3 of those uses, actually, is by mixing it with like more neutral nude brown kind of shades to dull down the pink. And to be honest, that kind of defeats the purpose of like trying to wear it, but I do find that like once I've done my eyes, a lot of the time this does feel a little bit much. So I think I need to maybe wear this on some days that I'm not wearing other makeup and just kind of like get a sense of the color itself and resist the temptation to mix it with things to make it more wearable for me. So 3 uses for that, 7 remaining. It's staying in the project. Oh, I should have said, when I drew the prompt, represent a project, the instructions were to bring in something that was sort of like, that sort of met the criteria of a different project pan that maybe you're not participating in. So I rolled this in with the Graveyard project pan in mind because I had this in a previous project pan and didn't manage to finish it at that time. Similarly, I rolled in this shade Ember, which is an orange shade from Phytosurgence. This is a blush. And this is another just really great fall shade that I wanted to get some use on. I rolled it in for 10 uses, and that was for the prompt Spotlight a Panner. I rolled this in with Laralix mascara in mind because she is doing a blush roulette project this year, and I have been really eagerly following that series. It's fun to watch. It's inspiring also for thinking about future projects for myself. So I rolled in a blush for 10 uses. I have so far used it 7 times, so got quite a lot of use on this in the last month. Again, it's a really great shade for fall, just really like bright, burnt, toasty kind of shade. The final item in this project is another eyeshadow. This is the shade Ice Blink from Shine by SD and Seekingshifts. I hope you can see it, but there is not a huge dip going on in there, just a small little dip in the middle of the pan. This is one that I wanted to also sort of get more use on and reckon with a little bit. And I rolled that in for the prompt Influenced because I was influenced to buy that by a lot of people. It's kind of a viral shade within the indie community. So I wanted to use that 10 times, and I have used it so far 4 times, again, mainly on the inner corner, which makes it a little bit more versatile, but I still find that the combination of blue and orange sparkles in this shade makes it a little bit harder for me to wear personally with the colors that I tend to wear. But I do have this right now in a custom palette that I built, which has made it a little bit easier to reach for. So that's all my progress on the items that are already in the project. I have 4 items that are staying in and 2 rollouts, so we're going to draw 2 more cards. And I have 1 Joker in this deck, but I won't pull it out because I pretty much only use this deck for deck of panning, so it's in there somewhere. And I'll give it a slight shuffle, but I'm really bad at shuffling. So first we get a 4 of diamonds and a 3 of spades. Okay, so I've pulled up the game board here. 4 of diamonds corresponds to a fragrance, and 3 of spades corresponds to pop culture. The fragrance category is a little hard for me because I don't own that many fragrances. I have a lot of samples that I could stand to go through, but I'm pretty sensitive to scents, and so I don't subject myself to scents that give me a headache or bother me. And I don't really know, like, among those samples, I don't have a good sense of whether there are any in there that I like that I want to pan. So I think I'm gonna redraw for that. If I remember correctly, there is a rule with this project where you can redraw 2 cards and then kind of combine them, I think. So I've got the 4 of spades here and the 10 of spades. Okay, that leaves me with all spades. So the 4 of spades is multi-purpose, and the 10 of spades is peach fuzz. That's the Pantone color of the year. So I will try and find something that combines those 2 prompts, as well as something that fits the prompt pop culture. Okay, these prompts were a little bit challenging for my collection. I didn't have a ton of options that would fit the criteria. But for pop culture, I think one of the only like IP collab palettes I have is the Glamlight Ghostface palette. I decided to roll in this eyeshadow from that palette. It's called Vengeful Spirit, and it's this beautiful purpley taupe. I really love this shade, and it's also a pretty neutral shade, so it's pretty easy to wear on a daily basis. So far, I have only 6 tracked uses on this, like in its lifetime with me, which is about a year now. So that's not very high. I would definitely like to get that higher. Hitting 10 uses would only be 4 more uses. That doesn't really seem like enough. I think maybe I'll try to get this up to 15 uses, which would mean using it 9 more times. That's a kind of weird goal. I think I'm gonna say 9 uses on this to get it up to 15 total uses. And then for peach fuzz and multi-purpose, I think I'm going to go with this blush shade from Phytosurgence. It's called Evaporate, and I think they describe this as like a toasted peach or something like that, a burnt peach. It's one of my favorite blushes, so yeah, why not roll it into a project? I definitely don't use this as much as I would like to, just because I have other things that are pulled out as part of my like shop my stash or my project pan or my things I'm trying to finish before the end of the year. So I think it would be good to give myself a reason to pull this out more. I think I should be able to get 10 uses on this, if not by next update, then certainly by the finale of this project. It's kind of weird to be setting goals at this point since there's only 2 months remaining in the project, but I think 10 uses on that should be doable. So 9 on this eyeshadow, 10 on this blush. Oh, and by the way, this fits the peach fuzz prompt because of the color. As for the multi-purpose thing, I don't really use this in a multi-purpose way, but I have seen people use them on their lips, so technically I feel like it fits the prompt. Maybe I can try it that way to get extra use on this. The other things staying in this project are this lipstick. I'm going to try and get those 10 uses by next month, but certainly by the finale. This orange blush should be quite easy to roll out by the next update. And then for the other 2 eyeshadows in the project, Social Butterfly and Ice Blink, not totally sure whether there'll be rollouts for next month. So we might be looking at only 1 rollout. That is good incentive for me to really make sure I get the 10 uses on Evaporate this month. Thank you so much for watching my update. I'm sorry I always post these late, by the way. That is a chronic problem in my life, but it's all just for fun. So hopefully it's still interesting to you a few days after the 20th of the month. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you very soon in another video. Bye.